Okay, so I know I've been making a lot of videos about differential geometry, and I know I've been gone for like a few days, but I just wanted to update you guys on like what I've been doing and what I've been studying because I recently came across a channel called Mathematical Adventures, uh, and it's this guy and he documents like his studies, self-studies in math, and I thought that was a really cool idea, so I thought I'd try it as well. So I've already written down my goals for the week or this week, and I've checked them off which ones I've completed and which ones I have yet to complete. Um, I'm pretty ambitious with my goals, and this week was in particular, I put a lot of stuff, um, but I think I did surprisingly well, uh, given that I had so much to do. So I'm preparing for university. I'm a senior in high school, and I was recently accepted to Princeton University. So I'm going through a lot of the textbooks for their classes, and you can see I'm reading some of the textbooks. So the first one is Gunning's An Introduction to Analysis. Now, I've already gotten through the first chapter. I've gotten through the first chapter on algebraic fundamentals, and now I'm going through chapter 2 on topological fundamentals. And it kind of look the pace of this book is very fast actually. And the exercises are not easy. These exercises in all three of the books that Princeton uses, they are not easy at all. But I don't think this one is too difficult. Sometimes I get answers wrong, but they're not that bad compared to some of the books that I've studied before. So I'm up to topological spaces, and I managed to complete that. I guess going out of order, we have Morin's Classical Mechanics. This is apparently also used at Harvard as well. And this book's reputation is not lost on me. Like I know, like I've heard the problems in this textbook can be very difficult. I got through chapter 1 actually, and like here are some of the exercises. There's some dimensional analysis. You're asked to check limiting cases for these. Like there's not much physics going on in the first chapter, but it's just cultivating strategies. I haven't gotten to the second chapter on statics, but I've taken AP Physics C, so some of this at least should feel at least slightly familiar, even though the physics is much more difficult. Like look at that 4-star problem. Those are supposed to be pretty difficult. I usually only do odd problems, like odd numbers, so but there's that. So there's classical mechanics, and then I was just working on this right before I started recording, Artin's algebra. This one, I wanted to read 2 chapters this week, and I got through chapter 1, and I fearlessly went through all odd exercises, and let me tell you, that was crazy. Like there are a lot of them. But chapter 2 is even more exercises. And what I also do, I've also been making a sort of presentation for myself and for others because I'm in a study group, pre-class study group for this book. So here are some of the exercises. And that's basically that for the main books that I've been reading. I've had a bit more success with what I call my side quests. Oh, also I stopped by the bookstore today and I got, I'm a big fan of Amori, so I got that book from the bookstore. But I guess we'll begin with this, Geometry of Differential Forms. This is another Princeton book, but I'm just reading it just because. I know Del Carmo has a book on differential forms, and I've read 2 of his books. I could complete with the 3rd, but you can see I'm pretty far in. So I'm on chapter 5, and I'm up to here on geodesics and parallel translation of vectors. I've also been looking at munkres. I'm pretty far in also. I'm on section 41, which is in chapter, or I finished section 41, which is in chapter 6. So it's on paracompactness. So there are things like that. Now, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm actually in the process of, as part of one of my senior independent studies, writing an introductory textbook on tensors. And I wanted to write section 7.4 today, or this week, but I just didn't have the time. I stored like my very first rough drafts of all sections in binders. This is part 2. It grew so large that that I had to get another, and these are sorts of the things that you might see in and that's basically my tensor textbook. In this binder, chapters 6 and 7, chapter 6 is on manifolds, and chapter 7 is on the covariant derivative. I also plan on covering videos on tapp, which I was successful with in the first part of the week before Artin was absolutely demolishing me with all the exercises. But let's see, where are we? At the time of this recording, we're in additional topics in curves, and we're right here on Green's theorem. So I actually am not as familiar with the stuff in chapter 2, but I've been looking at it. I've been trying to parse the material, and I think I've been doing a pretty good job so far. So I want to keep that up. So what am I planning on doing next week? Well, of course, I want to keep it up with gunning. I think I've gotten into a pretty good rhythm with gunning this week, so I want to keep that momentum going. Artin, I want to finish up chapter 2. I'll do some more chapter 2 exercises today and tomorrow. That should be good. And then start on chapter 3. And hopefully, since I'm assigning myself just one chapter, that should be not bad. And then morin chapter 3, I know the material's starting to get more complicated because chapter 1 is just it's just strategies and chapter 2 is just statics, but morin chapter 3 might be more difficult. So I got to read through chapter 2 as well. So it really is more like chapters 2 to 3. Then there's morita, section 5.2. I'm going to keep that going. I want to try looking at Hatcher, algebraic topology. I've looked at bits and pieces of it. I'm familiar with some of the concepts, but I want to go through it really thoroughly and maybe even try some of the exercises if I have time. And of course, write intro to tensors. And I want to try doubling up sections 7.4 to 7.5. And then if I have the time, cover more on tapp. that is an enjoyable way. I usually post at the end of the day where I am, so that really is an enjoyable way to end the day. Um, so that's basically an update from me, and let me know if you want to see more of this.